Sometimes, the most beautiful goodbyes are the ones that never really end. The wind still whispers his name through the open fields, the horses still pause as if they sense him, and the ranch still holds the warmth of his spirit. For years, fans of Heartland carried a quiet ache, the loss of Ty Borden. His absence left a silence no words could fill. But in season 20, that silence broke. In one breathtaking moment, Ty came home not through miracles, but through memory, through love, through everything he left behind. It was the kind of scene that didn't just make you cry. It made you remember why you fell in love with this story in the first place. The sun hung low over the Heartland Ranch, painting the sky in shades of gold and rose, the kind of sky Ty used to love. The fields stretched endlessly, quiet but alive, holding the weight of every laugh, every promise, and every tear shared between Amy and Ty. Season 20 opens with a stillness that feels heavy. The kind that comes not from peace, but from missing someone who was once the heartbeat of this place. You can almost feel Amy's thoughts wandering. Every corner of the barn, every creak of the old wood, every soft neigh from the horses pulling her deeper into the past. It's been years since Ty's passing, but grief doesn't live on a calendar. It lingers. It changes shape. It hides behind small smiles and strong fronts. Amy has built a life around that absence, raising Lindy, working the ranch, pretending to be whole when a part of her never will be. But today feels different. The wind outside carries a strange kind of calm, the kind that makes her stop mid-step, hand frozen on the barn door, eyes distant. It's as if the world is holding its breath. Inside, the light filters through the windows, catching the dust in the air, turning it into tiny, floating stars. Amy stands still, eyes tracing the space where Ty once stood, fixing a saddle, his smile warm and quiet. It's a memory, but it feels too real, too close. The air itself seems to hum with something familiar, not a ghost, but a presence, a memory that refuses to fade. She closes her eyes, and the sound of his voice echoes in her mind, gentle, teasing, alive. She can almost hear him say her name, the way he used to when the world felt safe. It's not sadness she feels in that moment, but something softer, longing, wrapped in love. That's what Heartland has always been about, not just the people who stay, but the ones who leave. And the invisible thread that still ties them to the home they loved. In this quiet opening, the show doesn't rush. It lets the silence speak. It lets the camera linger on Amy's face, the way her eyes shimmer with unspoken words. We don't need flashbacks or dialogue. The pain and beauty are written in her stillness. The barn becomes more than wood and walls. It's a living memory, a sacred place where the past still breathes. The beauty of Heartland is that it never tries to erase loss. Instead, it shows us how to live with it, how to carry it with grace. This first moment in season 20 reminds us that love doesn't vanish with time or distance. It stays in the places we shared, in the laughter we remember, and in the hearts that keep beating for the ones who are gone. As the music swells softly in the background, the camera pulls away, showing Amy standing alone in that golden light. Yet somehow, she doesn't seem lonely, not anymore. There's a quiet strength in her, a peace that feels almost like his hand still resting on hers. The world hasn't forgotten Ty Borden, and neither has Heartland. There are moments in life when the past doesn't just visit you, it embraces you. That's what happens to Amy one quiet morning in season 20. She's in the barn again, doing what she's done 1,000 times, brushing down Spartan, the horse that once carried both her and Ty through their happiest days. It's routine, familiar, safe, but something feels different this time. The air feels heavier, warmer somehow, and the soft rustle of hay beneath her boots sounds almost like footsteps. She stops, her breath catching for no reason she can name. The silence in the barn shifts, as though the world itself is holding a memory. Amy glances toward the old wooden door, the one Ty used to lean against when he watched her work. It creaks in the breeze, and for a moment, the sunlight pouring through looks just like it used to when he was there. Her heart stirs, not in sadness, but in recognition. She can almost see him there, half smile on his lips, eyes full of quiet love. It's not a ghost. It's not a dream. It's something deeper, the soul's way of remembering what the heart refuses to forget. She whispers his name, barely audible, like a secret meant only for the wind, Ty. And for a split second, the sound doesn't disappear into the air, it returns. Not as an echo, but as warmth. The horses shift softly in their stalls. The sunlight flickers like a heartbeat, and somewhere deep inside her, she feels him. Not watching, not haunting, just being there. This is where Heartland shines, not in grand gestures or magic tricks, but in moments that feel real because they could be real. The kind of moments anyone who's ever lost someone knows too well. You think you hear their voice. You smell their cologne on a jacket you haven't worn in years. You feel their hand brushed against yours in the quiet. It's not about seeing them. It's about knowing they're still a part of you. That's what Amy feels now, a love that refuses to fade, even when life demands it should. She moves closer to Ty's old tools, still hanging neatly on the wall. They're untouched, a small museum of who he was, the careful way he lived, the care he gave to every living thing. Her hand hovers over them, fingers trembling, afraid that touching them might break the spell. But then she smiles, that soft, trembling smile that comes when sorrow meets gratitude. Because even though Ty is gone, he left behind something that never left her, peace. The barn seems to breathe with her. The air fills with light, soft and golden, wrapping around her shoulders like an embrace. And in that light, she doesn't see him, she feels him. The warmth of his love, the strength of his presence. It's not a miracle, not some return from the dead. It's love finding its way back through the walls of time. For the first time in years, Amy doesn't cry when she thinks of him. Instead, she smiles. Because in that stillness, she knows he's home. Not in body, but in spirit. Outside, the wind carries the scent of rain and pine. The camera drifts beyond the barn doors, showing the open fields, endless and golden under the afternoon sun. The same fields Ty once rode across, chasing the horizon with laughter in his eyes. Now it feels as if the land itself remembers him. Every blade of grass, every distant bird call, every ripple of wind, it's all a chorus of echoes that say the same thing. He was here. That's the beauty of Heartland. It doesn't just tell you that love survives. It shows you how it lingers in the smallest things. A photo tucked into a drawer. A horse that still responds to his whistle. A daughter who carries his kindness in her smile. Ty's presence isn't gone. It's woven into every heartbeat of the place he loved. As Amy stands in the doorway, looking out at the wide sky, there's no pain in her eyes anymore. Just peace. The kind of peace that comes when you realize love doesn't end when a person does. It simply changes form. It becomes light, wind, memory. It becomes the echo that answers when you whisper their name. The moment passes quietly, like a sigh. But for Amy and for everyone who's ever missed someone, it changes everything. Because now she knows he's not gone. Not really. Ty Borden came home not through miracles, but through love that never left. And as the screen fades to a soft glow of golden light, one truth remains. Sometimes, love doesn't need to return. It's been here all along. There are moments when time bends, when the world stops pretending that the past is gone and instead lets it breathe again. That's what happens in this scene, the one that Heartland fans will never forget. The morning starts quietly, the sky washed in soft gray, the kind of light that feels heavy with meaning. Amy steps outside with her coffee, her breath mixing with the cold air, her eyes lost on the distant hills. Everything feels familiar, the scent of hay, the faint whinny of horses, the whisper of wind across the valley. But underneath it all, there's something else, something waiting, something that feels alive. She sets the cup down on the railing and closes her eyes for just a second. It's the smallest thing, a pause, but it's enough. The world seems to shift. The sound of hooves breaks the silence. It's slow at first, almost uncertain, and then steady, strong. Amy opens her eyes. Across the field, through the morning mist, a figure on horseback appears. At first, it's just a shadow against the light. But she knows. She knows before she can even see his face. Her heart stumbles in her chest. The breath she's been holding for years finally lets go. Ty. He rides toward her the way he always did, steady, easy, that calm presence that once made the world feel right. The light catches his face, soft and golden, the way memory often does, not sharp, not exact, but warm. It's not a dream. It's not even a vision. It's the universe folding in on itself for one perfect moment, bringing him back not in body, but in truth. Amy doesn't move. She can't. The tears come before she can stop them, but they aren't tears of sadness. They're tears of homecoming. As he approaches, the air around her changes. It feels lighter, freer. The birds start singing again. The wine stills. Everything is quiet except for the sound of his horse slowing to a stop. He dismounts, his boots hitting the ground softly, and for a moment, it's like the years never passed. They just dissolved. He smiles at her, that same easy smile that said 1,000 things without words. And even though no one speaks, everything that ever needed to be said lives in that silence. This scene isn't about resurrection. It's about recognition. About the way love lives in every breath we take after someone we've lost. It's Heartland saying, love doesn't leave, it transforms. Ty's return isn't meant to break the rules of life or death. It's meant to show that love is timeless. That connection doesn't need form to exist. Amy steps forward, slowly, afraid that if she moves too fast, he'll vanish like a shadow. But he doesn't. He's there, calm, patient, waiting like he always did. She reaches out her hand, and though her fingers only meet the cold air, she feels warmth. Real warmth. The camera lingers on that touch, invisible but powerful, as the music swells, tender and haunting. In that instant, the line between reality and memory disappears. It doesn't matter what's real. What matters is what's felt. Amy smiles through her tears, whispering words the audience doesn't hear, but they don't need to. We all know what she's saying. I miss you. I love you. You're still here. The beauty of this moment isn't just that Ty comes home. It's that Amy finally understands he never truly left. Every choice she made, every horse she healed, every smile she gave to Lindy, it all carried him forward. This return isn't about seeing him. It's about feeling whole again. It's the story closing its loop, showing that love doesn't vanish with loss. It finds its way back through every heartbeat that remembers. As the scene fades, the wind picks up, carrying the sound of hooves again, not approaching this time, but fading into the distance. Amy watches, her tears drying under the morning sun. The figure disappears into the light, but the piece stays behind. For the first time since Ty's death, she isn't weighed down by grief. She's lifted by love. The ranch feels alive again, full of warmth and memory. The moment ends not with goodbye, but with gratitude. Amy turns back toward the barn, her hand brushing against the wooden post where Ty carved their initials years ago. The carving is worn now, but still there like their love, weathered but unbreakable. She traces it with her fingers and smiles, whispering softly, "You made it home." And maybe that's what Heartland wanted us to feel, that home isn't a place or a time. It's the people who shape our hearts, the memories that guide us, and the love that refuses to die. Ty didn't come back to stay. He came back to remind us, and Amy, that even in the quietest corners of life, love will always find its way home. There's a kind of silence that isn't empty. It's full of everything that once was. The sound of laughter that still lingers in the walls, the touch that memory refuses to forget, the love that never fades no matter how much time has passed. That's the silence that fills the Heartland Ranch after Ty's return, not the cold stillness of loss, but the quiet peace that follows understanding. The wine moves softly through the tall grass outside. The sunlight spills across the barn doors, and Amy stands there still and calm, her heart finally at rest. For the first time in years, she isn't fighting to hold back tears. She's breathing freely, fully, because she knows now Ty isn't gone. He's part of everything around her. The camera follows Amy as she walks through the ranch. Every step she takes feels lighter, every breath easier. She touches the wooden railing, the same one they built together years ago, her hand moving over its rough grain as though it were his hand she's holding. The sky above her is wide and blue, endless, and in that sky she feels him. Not in the clouds, not in the wind, but in the stillness between them. That's where he lives now, not in photographs or flashbacks, but in the rhythm of her days. Amy heads toward the pasture where Lindy is playing. Her daughter's laughter rings out, bright and innocent, carried by the wind like music. For a moment, Amy just watches her, eyes soft with love. Lindy has Ty's smile, that gentle curve, that warmth that could melt the hardest day. And it hits Amy like a quiet revelation. He's still here, through her, through them. Every giggle, every hug, every spark of kindness in that little girl's eyes. That's Ty's legacy. He didn't just leave memories. He left life. This is what Heartland does so beautifully. It doesn't rush grief, and it doesn't erase it. It transforms it. It teaches that healing isn't about forgetting someone. It's about learning how to live with their love instead of their loss. Amy finally understands that. The scene slows as she walks to Lindy, kneeling down to hug her tight, her eyes closing as the music swells, soft piano, a hint of strings, the kind that sounds like sunrise. It's not sadness anymore. It's grace. It's acceptance. The screen cuts to the evening light over the ranch, golden, quiet, endless. Amy stands on the porch, a blanket around her shoulders, watching the horizon. The same horizon Ty used to watch. The sky glows, and for a second, she sees it, that soft shimmer of light, that warmth that isn't just from the sunset. It's him. She doesn't need to see his face anymore. She can feel him in every color of the world. The orange glow, the whispering breeze, the faint sound of hooves carried by memory, all of it speaks the same truth. Love doesn't end. It becomes the light that stays. Amy smiles, her eyes wet but calm. She whispers, almost to herself, "You're still here." And maybe that's the most powerful thing Heartland has ever shown us. That love is not measured by time or distance. It's measured by how deeply it shapes the heart it leaves behind. Ty's story doesn't end with his death. It continues through every act of kindness, every bond, every moment Amy and Lindy choose to live fully. As night falls, the ranch lights begin to glow, soft and golden against the darkening sky. The horses settle in the barn, the world quiets. The final shot lingers on the carved initials on the barn post. A&T. The wood is worn, but the letters remain strong and clear, just like their love. The camera pulls back slowly, the ranch shrinking in the distance, surrounded by open fields bathed in moonlight. It's peaceful, eternal. The narrator's final words echo gently, not over grand music, but over the natural sounds of wind and crickets. Sometimes the ones we love don't leave, they just find a new way to stay. In the sun that warms our days, in the stars that guard our nights, in the hearts they've touched and the love they've left behind. That's the light that never fades. As the words fade, the screen goes dark, not abruptly, but softly, like the closing of a book you'll never stop thinking about. A quiet moment, a long breath, and then, just before the video ends, one last sound, the distant echo of a horse's hoofbeat across the fields, fading gently into the night. It's not just the end of a scene. It's the heartbeat of a story that will never truly be over. Ty Borden came home, not in body, but in every light, every sound, every breath that Heartland takes. And in that home, he'll always stay.